What up, Twitch? It's your boy PU2 coming at you on a Monday night for some Dungeons and Dragons. It's been a minute. We're excited to be with you. Just give us a minute to get set up through this break, and we'll get started back with some Dungeons and Dragons. So grab your bros and grab your dice, because it's D&D night. What up, Twitch? And called Osmodirty Jones, which is a fun wordplay off COVID and Osmosis Jones. So that's our theme.
Monday night. Sorry, no, it's Monday night. Oh, the whole stream's ruined of the Unbeaten Path.
With Kaiju Slayer, Session 5. What up, Twitch? There we go. I was muting myself. Oh, that's great. We're professionals here, aren't we?
Dude, he was born in 73. This means George Lucas probably kidnapped him and trained him to talk like that. He's like, after the first Star Wars movie, like, I need you one day. And he's like, why me to talk like this? Like, you'll see.
The official state fish of Georgia is?
No, what? What up, Twitch? It's your boy PU2, and I'm here virtually in person with all the PU2 Cru. Osmodirty Jones, which is a fun wordplay off COVID and Osmosis Jones. So that's our theme.
Monday night. Sorry, no, it's Monday night. Oh, the whole stream's ruined of the Unbeaten Path.
With Kaiju Slayer, Session 5. What up, Twitch? There we go. I was muting myself. Oh, that's great. We're professionals here, aren't we?
Dude, he was born in 73. This means George Lucas probably kidnapped him and trained him to talk like that. He's like, after the first Star Wars movie, like, I need you one day. And he's like, why me to talk like this? Like, you'll see.
The official state fish of Georgia is?
No, what? What's that?
Cookout.
What up, Twitch? It's your boy PU2, and I'm here virtually in person with all the PU2 Cru. Osmodirty Jones, which is a fun wordplay off COVID and Osmosis Jones. So that's our theme.
Monday night. Sorry, no, it's Monday night. Oh, the whole stream's ruined of the Unbeaten Path.
With Kaiju Slayer, Session 5. What up, Twitch? There we go. I was muting myself. Oh, that's great. We're professionals here, aren't we?
Dude, he was born in 73. This means George Lucas probably kidnapped him and trained him to talk like that. He's like, after the first Star Wars movie, like, I need you one day. And he's like, why me to talk like this? Like, you'll see.
The official state fish of Georgia is?
No, what? What's that?
Cookout.
What up, Twitch? It's your boy PU2, and I'm here virtually in person with all the PU2 Cru. Osmodirty Jones, which is a fun wordplay off COVID and Osmosis Jones. So that's our theme.
Monday night. Sorry, no, it's Monday night. Oh, the whole stream's ruined of the Unbeaten Path.
With Kaiju Slayer Session 5. What up, Twitch? There we go. I was muting myself. Oh, we're professionals here, aren't we?
Dude, he was born in 73. This means George Lucas probably kidnapped him and trained him to talk like that. He's like, after the first Star Wars movie, like, I need you one day. And he's like, why Mesa talk like this? He's like, you'll see.
Where are you, Christmas? Why can't I find?
Now, what up, Twitch? Grab your bros, grab your dice. It's D&D night. I am PU2 and you're watching my channel. We try to do Dungeons and Dragons with friends once a week. We've had to take some hiatuses, you know, because there's a lot of things that happened. I went to a race, and that, you know, set me back, and among other things. So anyway, we're back.
And boy, are his legs tired.
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks, Trump.
I ran 500 miles in a circle.
And he would run 500 more just to get your subscription.
That's right. Well played. Well, props. If I could give you inspiration for this campaign, I would.
You're not the DM, though. It's not up to you.
I'm a mere player, though. Well, welcome, folks. We've got the PU2 Cru here. We're excited to play another chapter of PS Zombies' creation, The Unbeaten Path. We're up to session 49 of that. That's crazy. We've been going for a long legacy now, so we're excited that we're
I'm
back.
like so far behind Matt Mercer's level up progression. It's not even funny. But we also have much shorter sessions, so I think in hours, like, we're probably more similar.
And
Yeah.
you know, Matt Mercer may have started like this. You know, we just don't. Those are the lost videos. We don't.
You don't even know.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't even know. I mean, he started in Pathfinder. It was the Wild West.
Yeah.
Anything can happen in Pathfinder.
That's right. So we're excited to be here. Just a reminder, you can find me on all the things, all the social medias. I'm on X. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Insta. I'm on YouTube. I got a Patreon. We're here on Twitch. We also have a merch store that's attached here on Twitch. And you can find our Discord. That's lovely. It's over there on the corner of your screen, and it's filled with memes. So check that out too. The link for that is on our Twitch page. So that's a little bit about me. We've been trying to run kind of two stories with this stream. One is an inspiration based off of the anime One Piece called Piece of Eight, and we are on the off weeks of that. And the other is PS Zombies' creation, which is a homebrew called Unbeaten Path, and that's what we're in tonight. So without further ado, I'll kick it over to our DM in charge, PS Zombie.
Hello, it is I,
It is you.
PS Zombie. Yeah, welcome back to Unbeaten Path. It's been a little while, so I'll try to recap a little bit what's happened in the last sesh to best to my memory, which should be adequate. After dying to the Master in the Master's Keep, rather than restarting the cycle per usual, our adventurers were pulled in another direction and found themselves awakening in a very new sort of world. Quite foreign to them, but by our standards, a sort of futuristic kind of cyberpunky sort of world. After the initial shock of awakening and a rather more rocky resurrection from Alibaba, they all found themselves in a medical facility that they came to find out was owned, like most of the things in this city, by the Helios Corporation, which seems to be a mega corporation that owns most everything around these parts. They spoke to the chief medical officer of this facility, who's Leo Min, who's a cyborg augmented medical doctor man. And he informed them that they had been found dead and brought back to life through the use of unique technology of this place called a fighting engine, which is a piece of technology that replaces the heart of the host. And we'll find out more about that in this session. But when we left off, things were fairly well pacified after a rocky start, where Dr. Min was basically telling them that while he did save their lives, it was not all ups, as now they are sort of symbiotically attached to this strange technology. So that, I think, was pretty much the recap, with lots of fun things in between. So, yeah, we'll just run through those introductions real quick, as we always do. We'll start with our Battle Armor bro.
I'm Battle Armor. I play Karis Fester and a Varial Artificer. I'm the tank of the party. I like to punch things.
Hey.
Smartly punch things. with my
Intelligently punch things.
Yes, I'm very intelligent.
All right. And then I think we go to Climate Changer.
I am a climate changer playing Alibaba, a tiefling warlock with a Jinn patron. And first question, did I ever get clothes, or am I still in like a bath, I guess?
Yeah, so when you left the medical facility, they had some jumpsuits in lockers that you guys donned. They were just kind of plain gray jumpsuits with the symbol of the Helios Corporation on them. But yes,
that
you
would
have
just
kind
be
of
a funny image in my mind, like by a
you were naked
helicopter
for
pad,
a
just like
good amount of time.
yeah.
But
Okay,
you were
great.
you did eventually get clothes, all of you.
He is maybe the sneaky one of the group, I suppose. Yeah.
That's a fair
Yeah.
characterization.
Yeah.
And then lastly, PU2.
I'm PU2. I play a Mubus Calfin, a Minotaur cleric with a hoof of gold. He's instead of heart gold, I want a little twist.
Yeah, beautiful.
He's a Grave Domain cleric. He is not a fan of his current situation, and was left out in the recap. All this was against his will, so he's not happy about that.
Yes.
He's got a.
I could have been
He's got
more clear with that, but yes.
What, you didn't want to go to a parallel universe?
Dr. Min knew what he was doing was non-consensual, but he also knew you were dead, and so he kind of gambled that you'd rather be alive.
Well, Mubus has a pretty clear "do not resuscitate" like D&D. D&D equivalent
He got
of
left
that.
behind
Yeah.
in the resurrection process.
Seems the smiling man forgets that literally every time.
Yeah, we'll get that tattooed on you.
Yeah, that's right.
Also, roll me a
branded.
new character.
Be very on brand to get it branded. Get it? So.
I feel like Alibaba would have noticed your golden hooves before. That's all I gotta say.
The most valuable thing in any room.
That's funny.
Yeah.
His
That's funny
golden
you
hooves.
said that started the adventure with him, and now I just can't seem to find them.
I swear I had those. He's just got like golden horseshoes in his backpack. Don't know, man.
play horseshoes?
It's a living.
It's a living.
I don't know if we made this joke
that how
before,
cow-
but I did want to say that a Mubus is a cow with horsepower now. I think that's fun.
That's funny. That's good. I like that.
So
Nice.
true.
So true.
All right, so this was y'all had left the medical facility, and Dr. Min had taken you to a place where you could more explore the nature of your fighting engine, which indeed does appear to be once was a helipad, a loading dock, something like this, but this was from some prior older construction of the city where this was a roof. It's nowhere near the roof now. This is the city is all skyscrapers, and this is now tightly packed underground, but was left open probably for storage reasons. So here we do find ourselves. Sorry.
I found myself here.
Do we get
Okay. I thought I might have been being called, but I am not.
Do we get marching orders to level up? Was that a permission granted?
I have
yes,
done
you
so.
may.
Okay.
I have not long rested still, but
At your convenience. You know, as you kind of discover what's going on, that may color what you want to do, and that was the main reason I was kind of holding you off, is depending on how much you wanted to cater it to what's going on right now. Okay, so yeah, Dr. Min took you to this room, and I'll say above game, there's going to be several aspects of this that I would like to be like as an intuitive and collaborative as you guys would like or am comfortable with. As Dr. Min, I believe he told you this at the time, he's never interacted with the fighting engine. He doesn't know how to activate it, and neither do you. So it's going to kind of be on you how you want this to occur. I've given you kind of the handouts for each of your fighting engines, and so you know that mechanically it's going to be a reaction to don or doff your fighting engine. And but I don't know if we covered this last time. Well, we'll do it in character in a minute then. So as you enter this room with Dr. Min, I don't have control of my man. Okay, there we go. He's gonna say, yeah. So this is a place where you can practice in, pretty much secrecy. There's no cameras down here. Helios doesn't monitor these old storage facilities. I've had it set up where there's nothing important or breakable in here, so you're free to do as you will. I don't know exactly how these are going to manifest for you. We have some reports and some data on other individuals using fighting engines, so I know that they can be quite destructive and can grant a variety of abilities. So you may want to try some things out before you decide to strike out and do whatever you're going to do next. The one warning I would give you is that Helios is a very powerful propaganda machine, and they are a very powerful. They run a very powerful police state, and fighting engines are highly illegal. I would not wear them in public unless you're prepared for the consequences, which will be probably a fight. So conceal them as much as you wish, and break them out when you need to. But do be aware that these are highly taboo. Even among the populace, consider them immoral, and that's why um, they even commoners will rat you out if they see you using one. Other than that, it's at this point you basically know more than me. So
is this like a dojo, or it's like a big flat area we can go out and try to get our
yeah, exactly. So like
engines
imagine
going?
like just a big empty warehouse, but there are like vaguely human shaped like training dummies that have padding, but they're made of like big chunks of steel. So they're very hearty training dummies if you need something to target for your abilities. And I guess this is the point where I'd ask you. You have this engine inside you, and you know that this ignition is needed to activate it. And kind of wherever your character, centers yourself, whatever emotions you feel would trigger this sort of transformation in you. But basically, it's going to envelop you in a suit of armor is going to be the end result of this. Sort of bioorganic nanosuit type tech stuff.
Sweet.
But I would call on each of you to, as you're comfortable, sort of what place do you go to make this happen?
I kind of had this scenario in my mind. Let me
hit it.
give it. So, Alibaba, he kind of bounds up to one of the dummies, very confident that it's going to be similar to how it has been when he's tried to use powers in the past. And I think as he begins to try to use it, it's not working. But you remember Jurassic Park?
I heard something.
You remember Jurassic Park?
Yeah, totally.
The magic word.
I can't get it to play right. But I'm imagining like a holographic avatar or some sort of AI that's similar to the genie. Geni, kind of appears, and I don't know exactly how.
Like almost like a little chibi devil on your shoulder type, like mini hologram of him.
Yeah, almost like there's a not a ghost in the machine, but sort of a kind of a. His patron is still a part of the situation in a abstract way. So as he goes to try to like initiate it, it sort of starts up, but then this holographic devil figure is sort of hovering around him, and I feel like his initial access to his power came through like a dice game. And I don't know. The reason I wanted to talk about it is I don't know how to like. Are we gonna have another dice game? Probably not. Because
We can do it.
I'm already, if I fail, then my character, doesn't have any powers.
Well, we can make it.
But it's sort of to me. It feels like a virus that gives him the powers, but also.
I like a slot machine imagery. If you're just going for gambling, like you could have a little like ching ching ching, and it like spells out ignition or something.
It's like a key. Yeah, I mean, we could do something where it's not where there are stakes, but it's not like you never get it if you mess the stakes.
Maybe he just pulls out.
If Jedi saw an opportunity to like make another bargain here, he might try to wrestle some of the deal back in his favor.
Yeah.
So,
At the bottle or anything?
And then,
His bottle is he like around? I can't remember.
because see, I didn't have any
he doesn't have his
objects,
flask on him right now.
so
Hmm.
there's no focus or anything like that anymore. I guess it's in the engine.
Yeah, let's.
We
should.
we've already gone through this. I have a deal with you, and don't you remember? I don't know.
Yes, but your powers still come through me. It's a little chibi version of himself now. And now, without you having access to them, it looks like I'm back in control.
I do not like this at all.
Come on,
I know how
Anubis.
we can solve
Come on,
this
Alibaba.
problem.
You know we are both gambling men.
Never tell me the odds. I will roll you for it. I don't know.
Here's how we'll
Maybe-
do it. You beat me in the roll, I give you your powers for free. You lose, you consume 1 wish. 3 wishes, and we're done, Alibaba.
Mm.
Oh wow.
Death saving throws.
Wow. Okay. I've been here before, and it worked out. Never tell me the odds. I always say that all the time.
Okay, what I'm
It's his
gonna ask
catchphrase,
you.
basically.
You can kind of set the terms of this. What do you want to roll? Like, do you want to roll a D100, or do you want to roll something smaller? It's kind of on you how you want this game to go, or it could
Probably
be multiple
just a
dice.
D20, man.
You want to just do a straight D20, and whoever gets the higher roll.
It's D&D, baby.
Yeah.
Let's do it then. All right, so we'll say how it works. Is,
Oh!
hey, I could still.
Oh, man.
Tie it.
So we'll say how
Maybe
it
it
goes.
doesn't work
is-
right now. I don't know.
No.
We'll say if. Oh man.
Man,
so
that's
bad,
rough.
but it just happened to be worse.
All right, so
I try to
Um,
punch the little hologram. Wait, how did you do
so yeah, he kind of brings in the. None of you can see this, by the way. This is a digital projection
in the soul moment.
in Alibaba's mind, in his soul. So he generates these digital dice, and you both roll them, and he beats you. So he starts cackling maniacally. That's 1 wish for me, Alibaba.
You know,
I hope.
You know, if I don't have these access to this engine, you're kind of screwed. I just want to mention that I can just take this off and throw it in the trash, and what will happen to you?
Well, I know you would die. So, you may be stuck with it. But we shall see. You've only used just 1 wish. And the little Jedi hologram will fly into the engine that is now in your heart, and you will feel a heat emanating from it as the part of the engine that's sticking out of your chest starts billowing out smoke, which then surrounds you. And when the smoke dissipates, you are in the full form of your fighting engine, which is it's less of like, so Karos's armor is kind of Iron Man, kind of based on medieval armors. It's got this is more skin tight. It's more materials that are inscrutable. It's not expressly metal. It kind of emphasizes your demonic look with making your horns a bit hornier, and
Nice.
and you always have sort of these billows of red smoke that are swirling around you. And then I believe each of you will see on your handout there are several aspects that are in common. That there's a sort of a designation for each of your fighting engines, and so now you have access to your class abilities, your spell slots, your cantrips, anything from your subclass. These are all back. But in addition, you each have a new traversal ability. So these new these areas here are cityscapes and skyscrapers. They're going to kind of be bigger in scale than your average fights, and potentially the enemies are going to also have more mobility. So each of you have a greater mobility ability. I will say for you, Alibaba, this replaces your fiery teleportation for now. You don't have access to that particular ability any longer.
Okay.
But yeah, so now you get these new abilities, and we'll cover that last thing here in a minute once everyone's kind of gotten situated. Does anyone else have a thought about their transformation?
Yeah. I think I got something. So I think Karos connects with his on a very like intellectual, it's technology manner. And so I think he like reaches down and like fiddles with it a bit. Like there's like a part of his that turns, and then he like presses a little thing on the side, and then the chest thing like pops out.
Very common writer.
Yeah.
Like they always have the gadgets on, like they're more.
Yeah, and so he's got like a little combination, and I think he connects with his like memories of flying. Like he feels that is the sort of like inroad for him. That whatever like brain body connection this thing has can access it through his idea of flight, and as he sort of whispers to himself, ignition, assuming that is a part of it, he presses down the bit that's popped out, and the sides begin to like bleed out quicksilver, which just sort of like wraps up his whole body. Like you said, a much more skin tight, like he has a suit of armor. You all know what that looks like. This is actually more Karos. Like you can see him under it, like just covered in this like silver material. He looks like a Silver Surfer kind of, and like you can definitely see his eyes and everything like looking around like in a way that you don't often get to because he has his mask covering a lot. He is resplendently silver, and out of his back these like two like jets pop out, and like a bunch of plasma begins to form like these like big long wings out of it, and then you see a second set begin to grow out the back, and they're like dragonfly wings.
Ooh.
So he's got a set of 4 plasma wings coming out of his back, but otherwise he is
cool.
He is a sort of nude-esque silver man. Obviously, everything filed down, but
yeah.
But yeah.
And like I said, you've got your traversal ability as well. On there, if I did it right.
Yep.
And any thoughts for you, PU2?
Yeah, I think as opposed to Karos, who connects on that intellectual level, Amubis is very spiritual level, right? So he gets kind of into somewhat of a meditative state and kind of like squanto, like squats to the ground, right? Like, you start to kind of see he's doing some form of like spiritual guardians, right? So if you remember with spiritual guardians, it's the little like Dalio heads, little. So
yeah,
he's doing some combination of magic, whether it be light or sacred flame, to kind of emulate that. And I like to think it kind of coalesces that magic that of these little Dalio heads and kind of flame kind of magic coalesce into a big Dalio head. And I like to think that big Dalio head, like he's like almost connecting with it, looking at it, and then it kind of goes to like swallow him, and the fact that like he's accepting that rather than like being fearful or like against it or whatever, that triggers the transformation. Like he's at peace, he's at Zen mode, and even that's kind of like a fearful lion, fire lion, like attacking him. doesn't trigger him at all, and it kind of triggers the transformation. So right before he kind of gets engulfed by this like giant lion head, you can kind of see that he's already starting to transform because he's got in one eye the sun, you know, because he's got the little thing, sun thing, right? So that eye is glowing with the sun energy. And when he gets consumed, it kind of changes and activates his armor to be very much like accents of gold and bronze. You know, kind of think like Gryffindor, right? Or think like a paladin look that's got a lot of like lion homage, like his repulsor shield he once had. Like it's kind of got like a bunch of lion, like a giant lion head on it, and that kind of stuff on his armor. Like he's got one on his chest that kind of develops on his chest and stuff as these kind of like this kind of flame lion consumes him, and that fire touches his skin and touches where his armor is, and then it rebirths into this armor.
Nice. Yeah, and that's another thing I will say is that it's gonna your fighting engine will replicate your gear as well. So your notable gear that you have is going to be accessible in this form. That's kind of how that footprint of things appears in this world. You know, in some ways, things have to follow the rules of the world, and it's like this world has no rules for magic items and classes and such. And so to fit in that, the fighting engine kind of takes over those things. So yeah, Dr. Min is just sort of staring absolutely wide-eyed in awe, taking insane notes the whole time, as you three have all been able to transform and activate your fighting engines. So now I would ask each of you can mark yourselves off as having an inspiration.
Cool.
And this is going to be a mechanical thing to do with the final ability I was talking about, which is your paradigm shift. So this is another opportunity for y'all to use your own creativity and input in this. But essentially, these are going to be like finishing moves that you can perform when you have your inspiration, which will come just at notable times where it seems relevant. But I want the nature of these. Like, I'm happy to construct things for you if you'd prefer. But my thought was that you would kind of mold it after your character's abilities, whether you want that to be an attack. Whether you want that to be one of your spells, but it's going to be like an augmented version of that. So, for example, if you like, let's say, Karos, you wanted it to be based after one of your punches. It could be like your punch that's an auto crit and they're vulnerable to it or something like that, you know? So it would be that, but kind of just the best case scenario version of that. So it would be, the idea is to have one attack in your arsenal that's like a really big hit. And for the example, if you were like, let's say instead you wanted to base it off like Shatter or something, like one of your spells that's kind of archetypical of your class, then it could be like again, like a vulnerability situation, an auto fail, saving throw situation, where just like a really good version of that. The only thing I would say is like no persistent effects on this. So like Spirit Guardians would not be an applicable one. It's meant to be one big hit, not a now I'm stronger forever type thing. And also, if you have an idea for a non-damaging thing, that's potentially fine too, but the idea behind it is like you've got a big hit and you're free to base it off something in your kit if it feels right, something that you like. And you don't have to come up with that right now, and also that doesn't need to be the same every time. You can
so it can't be permanent
later on if you're like, well, I used it fireball this time, now I'm locked into that. No, like later on if you're like, well, I want to do something with, you know, the King of Twilight, and I want to make like
using
an ultimate
paradigm
move
shift,
based on
we
that.
power up one of our abilities.
Yeah, this is-
that can a
and this is
non-persistent
explicitly
ability.
breaking conventional rules. This is beyond what even fighting engines were designed to do. This is you pushing beyond your class, beyond your fighting engine, to almost DM's chair, like make something happen real big.
Cool.
So, like I said, that's why you don't have to come up with it now. If you want to fire something off now, we can collaborate on it, and you can smack these training dummies.
That extend
and just
anything.
test out
Right.
what. I mean, you don't have to worry about. Yeah, we can get you
Oh, I'm already
get you back.
noodling
We'll
on
say
it,
this
man.
is like a free. This is a free area to practice. Like this is training mode, and then also if you want to show off, Dr. Min can push a lever and launch the training dummies up in the air if you want to try out your traversal or whatever. Basically, just be thinking about those sort of things. I kind of want there to be a lot of flexibility here, and if you want to combine the ways you can move into your attacks, like that's why I wanted y'all to have the opportunity to level up, because maybe there's like a spell that you weren't thinking of that you're like, wow, this could really be cool with that ability.
Yeah, for sure.
I know 2 out of the 3 of you prepare spells, so it's a little bit easier to cater.
You said you had like a handout for Paradigm Shift?
It's not a big one. It's just let me make sure that you have access to it. It's just this. It's the last sentence on your fighting engine handout.
So if I did it here,
Let me see.
it wouldn't.
Edits.
It wouldn't count as a.
I think we're just
you
having
might-
fun. Yeah. So
Okay,
I
sweet.
think we could.
Yeah, you can just mess around. Okay, I had it under Mubis, but maybe I need it under PU2 as well. There you go. Maybe you have access to it now.
Yep.
Okay.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, and that'll have your traversal ability on it as well, which is unique to each of you. But for all of you, it lets you roughly move like 90-ish feet around if you want. I think is what it comes out to.
Have any of you watched Pantheon on Netflix?
Matt Mercer's in that one. Hmm.
Negative.
I watched.
Is it animated or?
It is animated.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It's kind of Hades-esque from what I saw.
Mm.
It's like a
Is that-
it's there's AI.
Is that the
and
one
it's
that's
sci-fi?
Castlevania like looking animation? Or?
Yeah,
it does
it's
look like that,
definitely
yeah.
Western anime style for sure.
Hmm.
But never mind then. But yeah, Alibaba's gonna start teleporting all over the place, just for fun.
Yeah, man.
And I think
Yeah, so you disappear in these poofs of smoke.
yeah, and I feel like it kind of looks like smoke, but it also looks like
Yeah, you're pretty soon.
pixelated smoke or like a holographic almost.
Yeah.
I want to lean a little bit into the digital side of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's bouncing around, dodging between, I guess, jumping on the heads of these dummies. Are there any like computer terminals around or anything?
Sure, yeah. Min was using one of them to kind of raise and lower the dummies as needed. So you also, I think I mentioned it last time, but I'll re-mention it. While you're in your fighting engine form, you have access to like a hollow tablet, just like Min does, on your forearm, kind of to take notes or, have access to your. There's kind of like an onboard AI, it would probably manifest as Gen I, just.
Yeah. Okay. So he's
depending on what you're
teleporting
trying to do.
around, and I think at one point he teleports in front of Dr. Men, and touches his tablet and casts hypnotic pattern, and he's just really energized by all of this, and he's being encouraged by Chennai, and he puts himself into this more than normal, and I like to characterize the hypnotic pattern as more like a supercomputer virus.
Yeah.
That allows him to like manipulate all of these dummies and like bring them and command them to do stuff.
That
Or they all blow up. That would work too.
no, link it. What does hypnotic pattern usually do? You want to link it? Let's see how this.
It basically charms everyone, but
Okay, yeah. Well, like these dummies are going to be just kind of auto fail for everything right here. So, yeah. Were you thinking it would be like pop ups almost? Like they just get like blue screen. Just
that would be funny. Little holographic pop-ups are like in front of there, and it's like code.
Yeah. So they start stumbling around, kind of in this stupor, infected by your now viral powers. I like that it's like remanifested in the digital realm.
So you said,
Go for it, Greg.
No, yeah, go.
just a clarifying question. You said that this world kind of emulates equipment that you had prior.
Yeah.
So I guess he would Anubis would reach for a thrust web. Is there any sort of remnant of that in his armor or setup that's been converted into this world?
Yeah, absolutely. So do you want it to be like drawn like a sword? Do you want it to be like attached at the wrist, like shing? Like it can kind of be how you want to manifest it. Thrust web's a very powerful and particular weapon, so I think it's going to maintain a lot of its form in this realm, even with everything strange that's going on. Or maybe you could even draw it out of the engine itself, like rather than a sheath. That might be kind of cool.
I kind of want it to look a little bit more ridiculous in this world, like a little bit more
Yeah.
like Cloud's blade, or like a Buster blade, like just,
Yeah, oversized, totally.
Yeah, completely oversized.
It's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, so and you can like just digitally summon it, or you can, like I said, you can draw it from somewhere if you want. Maybe keep some of its spider motif where the the hilt is got kind of spindly, black, angular, and as usual the blade of the sword is pure white. Yeah, the kind of contrast between the very sort of radiant appearance of your usual stuff and this dark drow blade from the Underdark that is and also with probably contrasting with your shield. It's like you've got the holy shield and the unholy sword, just sort of the
Feels
the
fun.
two
The angel and the devil
Carlos
on your shoulder. I think Karos is feeling very in touch with his power. Like it feels very much within him, very very skin tight, very close to him, and so he reaches into the part of his power that is the most him, which is his cantrip from just being an elf. It's technically a high elf. So he sort of walks over and begins to float in the air, very angelic style, and he instead of the feeling of flying that he taps into, it's the feeling of falling that helps him tap into the paradigm shift. The intense dropping feeling brings the power out of him, and a small like sun begins to form above the dummies that grows and grows. And once again, feeling a little bit embarrassed about how much he wants to name everything in this world. Like it feels compelled to it. He just sort of whispers to himself, "Wrath of an uncaring sun," and it deals a bunch of damage to everybody around.
Nice.
Because
So
he's
you're
Icarus,
gonna
you guys. The
use,
whole time he's been Icarus.
You're gonna use a like a booming blade ultimate kind of.
This is create bonfire.
Oh, okay. Oh, sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't remember which one was from your class.
Yeah.
Which one was
Booming
from-
blade is artificer. I got booming blade and guidance. You only get 2. And I don't think they get a lot of damaging cantrips. This is like the only ranged ability
Yeah.
you get.
Yeah.
But
and like I said, we can go through like, I mean, certainly it's going to be an auto fail.
yeah,
And-
I think a moderate increase in area is maybe what I'm looking for, and a moderate increase in damage.
totally.
That's just like
Yeah,
a kind
absolutely.
of bigger in every way. Like just take it a step further.
Totally. So yeah, I mean,
And this is
You
just
tell
for
me, do you
show,
wanna
so
do
I think
a
Yeah.
4x4. You want to do a 3x3? What feels right to you?
yeah, I was trying to hit these 3 dummies, and I think that's where my, if we have a sort of mental points calculation of how many, bump ups to different things I can get, I'd like to first and foremost hit everyone.
Yeah.
Secondarily, I want to deal a bit of damage.
Yeah. So there's 2 ways you could do it. You could say that because I feel like it would be. There's kind of 2 ways I think it would be fitting for you. I feel like your character is kind of a sort of logic and structure type character. So we could just say that you can hit 9 consecutive squares, but they don't have to be in a cube. They can be in any pattern you choose, because that would hit all of them. Like basically you choose an area that you can hit. Or it could be the same size, but you could move it as part of the same action. You could kind of burn through that.
I think that's fun. Sort of have a rising.
Or you could just do it big, but
yeah, I think it sort of rises and sets over the course of its move, and I'll just sort of like rake it across,
drag it
all
across.
of them.
I like that. Yeah, so we'll do. Yeah, we want some rolling in there for sure. So let's make it certainly auto fail. Let's do double the dice and vulnerability. Does that sound good?
That's 48, and then doubled that. So
Let's see what that comes out to and see if it feels right. 17 across the way.
For 34 damage is pretty nice. By
That sounds pretty nice for an AOE. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And that
sick.
because that's to three dudes, potentially more. Sounds
Yeah.
great.
I like that. Yeah, so that would be the example of like what a paradigm shift move would be. It's like just a nice big hit, and obviously if you were trying to single target something or use a different type of move, things could be tweaked. I think that seems like a nice hit, but also if that doesn't feel impactful enough, we can pump it up, because there's stuff like we can maximize damage die or stuff, but I think rolling's still kind of fun, just to have a little bit of a variable in there.
Yeah, I think knowing exactly how much damage something does is not as fun as being like, and a high roll on the paradigm shift.
He's devastating it.
Yeah, like I think it'll still feel good, even if it's like, oh man, it's slightly less damage than I wanted. And I think I'll probably be doing something different every time. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Like maybe I'll pull this back out at the end, but I think Karos would flex his muscles a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's great. Also, I'll say if you wanted like a persistent spell, like let's say you really wanted Spirit Guardians to be your thing, we could do something where like the first hit of it is the big hit, and then it goes back to the normal
It like
spell
just like
effect or
flare it
something.
at first. Yeah.
You know, like just that. I don't want to be too restrictive, but I just didn't want it to be where like, you know, and now
it was
this
best
is
to use it on the whole
a
person
trillion times.
because you know
I don't want it to be like obvious that the persistent effects are the right way to use it. And you know what? In fact, in that light, I think I'm just gonna say no persistent effect, just because it would just so lock you into doing that I want there to be like no one thing better than the other. Like I want the variety to be tasteful, you know.
So spiritual weapon.
Yeah,
You
as
could-
a persistent effect. See, I do feel
But-
like it's like an explicit nerf on you, but
But the thing I'll say is, what if it's not spiritual weapon as a persistent effect? What if it's spiritual weapon as a one-time thing? Like you could summon a big sword and just do a big sword attack, and then it's
as like a level
you know.
2 spell type thing.
That's kind of wanted to do with spiritual weapon.
Yeah, no. Tell me what you want to do, and we'll see how it goes.
Is kind of like create a spiritual weapon that is just larger than the blade I already have, right? And then use the force damage to kind of do some sort of AoE chain effect. To like Jezball enemies into each other, like up to 3 or something like that. Like, because it's got force damage, you know? Like.
Yeah, where like maybe it was one of such size that it would cleave through multiple things. Like, is that what you're kind of thinking?
Like, yeah, to that effect. But I was really kind of thinking like, I hit one dummy, it goes a certain distance, and if
Paper Mario style.
yeah, kind of like knocks into another one and knocks chains a little bit.
Oh, like because yours is like typically the line, right? So you would want it to like pounce between them, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Like I either throw the
that'd be
sword
cool.
and it like chains, or like I knock one person back so much force that hits another person, something like that.
Yeah. So
But I don't know how to make that look in D&D.
I like sort of summoning a lion that just kind of runs rampant on people. Like he chucks one into another and like pounces on another.
Like Lion Fury.
Thundercats?
Because it doesn't have to,
Thunder,
it's just a
Thundercats.
spiritual weapon. It doesn't have to be anything,
yeah, I can take whatever.
A lion
you
can
want.
be a weapon just as fine.
Lions are weapons too, guys.
That's what everyone always forgets.
That's right. They're not just
Yeah.
lying
So
Lion.
why don't we do kind of similar? We'll do auto crit on this, so it hits and you double the die.
Okay.
But just do a roll for each of them.
Of damage. It'll end up being, I think, roughly exactly the same damage as mine, which is fun.
It might do.
Literally 48 per. But he's rolling individually per then because this is an attack roll versus mine.
Yeah, just rolling the dice individually, so you don't have to. Oh, that was spiritual weapon.
Spiritual weapon.
Oh, dang it. Sorry.
You're right.
I just want it to be.
Hey, perfect. It critted. That's just what we needed.
I mean, no, that is correct.
All right, yeah.
I
So
mean, it
just
is
roll the
correct.
damage like three times on that. It doesn't have to be capped at 3, but
Oh, is it only 1d8? I was thinking it was 2d8.
and then would all that be doubled? So we got 19 doubled is what?
38.
8?
Yep.
And then that's
38,
crazy. There was that much
26.
variance. Did these all have the
And-
mod on them? Yeah, they do. Yeah, so you see your Dalio pop out and just start mauling. Like he basically, almost like. Well, do you want him pouncing from person to person, or do you want him kind of charging in, disappearing, and then teleporting in from somewhere else. Because that's where I kind of see like the
spooky.
bashing people into each other kind of aspect. Or you could have him just pop out and be mauling.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of it. You know, kind of like how you may fight an enemy or something that's spectral and it'll pop and like travel through the floor, right? So like something like that, you know, like it's like
Nice.
popping out, mauling somebody, going back in, coming back out of around the next person, mauling them, going back, you know, that kind of thing.
So, and we have
Is
we
it
have little
nanobots?
markers for all of these, but
He's pouncing
there he is.
like Simba.
And then you have your neat little fire. If I can pull it out. Is this yours or is that mine?
That's mine. That's so true. It does work perfectly for that.
But yeah, so like for one, he's like, boom, comes charging in, and it kind of stumbles back, and then smash, he comes out of the floor, basically knocking this one up and into this one, and then ducking back in, leaping over this one, pouncing down, tackling through them, and like you're free to do that as you please.
I like it. I think
Come the time,
to trigger paradigm
I'll just
shift
basically
for him,
hand you this,
okay.
and you can do as you please.
I think when it triggers is kind of like not to keep stealing from Final Fantasy, but it's kind of like the gauge, right?
No, I mean it's meant to be inspired by those kind of things.
You know, kind of like he gets more hot or like more flamey as he gets close until the gauge gets full, right? And then he can paradigm shift to the releasing the fire line.
Yeah, you should be able to control that. Yeah.
Sweet.
If you couldn't before. All right. I like it.
You zoom over, and the doctor's like eyebrows are blown off, and
He's just like
smoke covered face.
he's still stuck in the hypnotic pattern, like just like he's just kind of mindlessly tapping X buttons on pop-ups. Like
he didn't even see any of that.
His speed's 0. He's just like stuck.
Yeah, I'll erase the data. This never happened.
Hide our full power level. We
just
popped off a
absolutely-
little too hard.
Mind is fried right now.
So what happens when you connect your brain to a computer? I mean,
That's right.
you
know,
can get hacked.
This is the warning of a dystopian future.
That's right.
Yeah, I think Karos briefly enjoys doing one or two little other like magic-y things that he figured he couldn't do. Like he does try creating a normal bonfire and it pops out, and swinging a few times and it feels like it would do more than it was when he was just sitting in a hospital bed. And then after enjoying his time, he sees if he can turn it off easily enough, and I think it just sort of is like a big breath out and just relaxing. It's sort of all gets sucked back in, and
I would say it's
alights
like
on the ground.
it's even to you and any of you who choose to deactivate it. It's like almost a little bit jarring how quickly it retracts. Like it's just like and it's gone. Like so. This is something where potentially, if you were caught out, you'd have plausible deniability that you could like. That's why I had it be a reaction, is so that this could be, right as you start a combat or right as you get caught wearing it, you could potentially work it out in that situation.
As a reaction to literally anything, you can pop it out. But
so that's the general idea. There may be more stuff you can do later, but that's where I wanted to start us, so that we can get the wheels of thought turning on potential things you could do. And so, yeah, whenever you're done messing around, if you have more questions for Min, or I don't think y'all knew exactly even what your thoughts were going to be
Yeah,
going
are we
forward,
allowed
or how to
leave?
proceed from here.
He seemed to imply that we were going to be able to leave, and that was a little surprising.
Yeah, I mean, you're free to inquire.
Yeah, Dr. Min, are you in there?
He's like, finally closes
Yeah,
out
I'd like
enough.
to break
Pardon?
concentration on
Yeah.
hypnotic pattern.
Yeah, he's like, huh? He's like, did you figure it out?
Yeah, it's a great success. It's just to help your data. That's we were a little stronger than we were before, but I was able to do magic again. There's something about these that enables me to impart on the world what my will knows I can.
Wow. To be honest, that doesn't necessarily surprise me. There's a lot we don't know about these fighting engines, and I long suspected that the owner's will had a lot to do with what abilities the engine would impart. So that honestly makes sense to me.
You were mentioning that we might be sort of out of your eyes and care. Will we be allowed to sort of just walk around your world?
Yes, it was never my intent to keep you here. I frankly was taking a gamble on you. You're the first people we've encountered independent of the influence of Helios that was compatible with these fighting engines. Like I said, there's some biosignatures that we call leveled. It's a little esoteric to describe, but there's a lot of things. They seem to come from life experiences, perhaps, or just capacity to do things that normal people can't. But yes, you're the first ones we've seen who had it. And so my hope was that you might shake things up in this world. So frankly, it's in my interest if you do go do as you please. We are very much under the heel of Helios. They've destroyed our history. They've destroyed our avenues to resist. And, it's not like every moment's torture, but just nothing happens that isn't the will of Helios. And a big part of that is because they have access to their own fighting engines that no one can contend with. So you can imagine we regular folk can't do things like you're doing. And very few people have access to these sorts of powers.
Probably for the best. There's a lot of strife. Well, not for the best that other people who are oppressing you have it and you don't, but probably best that this sort of power isn't just in the hands of everyone. Perhaps we can alter the who has the power a little bit better.
Well,
Yeah,
I
in the
know
background, Alibaba
Yeah.
is like, yeah, these could be dangerous, for anyone to just have. And then he he creates his staff out of thin air and just like nanobot
Just like Eldritch
smoke
blasting
hologram.
everything.
Yeah.
stuff goes flying.
I see your silent point.
Yes. Is that how it is in your world? Or
yes.
are powers gate kept?
Oh no, more or less it's sort of come as you are. You can sort of acquire power if you try hard enough for it, which is also a fine system. Hasn't led to complete upheaval, but sometimes power does coalesce at the top.
Well, it sounds nice. At least you have a chance.
So,
It's true.
Again, I know I put these things on you. I'm not presuming to ask you to storm Helios headquarters and kill all my enemies or anything like that, but I would ask you to look around our city to find out for yourselves what you believe is true of Helios and whether it's something you feel compelled to change for us. And
Yes,
frankly, that chance alone is good enough for me.
We'll also probably be sort of on the side investigating how we might get back to where we were. We do still have our sworn mission. Seems like if you're a learned man and you've never heard of this before, it is possible that the Helios Corporation knows something that you do not. So it might be in our best interest to investigate their records anyway. We can.
I imagine it would be. We're a medical facility, and that's why we were lucky enough to have knowledge of the fighting engines, as they are ostensibly medical implants to a certain extent. But
if an average person got one of these, what would happen?
I mean, it replaces their heart, and it simply wouldn't function. They would just die.
Oh, yes, that's fair.
There has to be
certain amount of power.
The host has to activate it to.
That makes sense.
Both.
You need a little
have
bit
it function as
as
a heart,
as a
and then
heart.
also as an engine.
Indeed.
But yes, Helios doesn't allow free communication, so I imagine they have many departments. We're the medical one. Perhaps they have some world traversal department that I'm not aware of. It certainly seems reasonable if these things exist. I'm sure Helios would have a finger in it.
I'm gonna quickly pop my suit back out and do a detect magic just to see if I can see anything now that I can cast detect magic. I knew I couldn't before. I'm curious if there's any magic in the area that they have access to that we don't.
Yeah, I would say. Let me think about what would qualify as magic, because a lot of this is sort of a different source than you might think. I'll say that the fighting engine certainly ping is magic. And I don't know if he mentioned. I don't know if we mentioned this last session, but that at least to Min's knowledge, the engines were found technology. They were not part of modern technology. As far as they know, they were not manufactured. They can only be found and utilized.
Right.
So they do seem to have magical component to them. Unlike, I would say, nothing else within range feels magical to you.
Okay. Good info.
But yeah, I mean, you're a big boy. You can, but with that knowledge, you can sense that you could sense nearby
there isn't
engine
magic
users
in the world.
potentially also. Like if there was someone
coming out of their chest,
suspected, you're
that
like,
makes sense.
okay.
But I would have to have
be
my
a
own
use
engine
for it.
out because I can't cast magic.
Yeah, it is a class ability. Yep.
It's okay,
Little risk
Kairos.
reward there.
The magic is in you.
All along.
And I'm gonna do another experiment before I go undone. I make an object to shed 5 feet of bright light, which is my magical tinkering ability. I just I take one of the bits that like one of the heads or something that Dalio ripped off, and I make it glow with my magic, and then I unignition, and I'd like to see.
Yeah, I'll say that persists.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I'll say if it's something that you like maybe don't have to concentrate on. Maybe that'll be the sort of cutoff of what might persist beyond.
Yeah, and it makes sense that this is a very small amount of magic that I like imbue into an
Yeah,
object.
it's like you imbue into it, so it's like it's got a
Yeah.
bit of what you're doing.
So,
Make something.
Alibaba,
Yes.
what would happen if he casts mage armor? Is it?
What, like while you're in your suit?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have the typical.
Okay. Cool. Just curious what it might look like.
Yeah, so like you wanted to kind of lean into the digital. Yeah, I mean,
NordVPN.
I've got all sorts of
yeah,
possibilities.
I don't
there.
know. That might it might be something that doesn't persist because it's on you rather than an external object. It might get sucked back in. I'd have to think about that.
Maybe it would be on the armor. Like it would, when he popped it in and out, it would persist while in the armor. But
yeah, I think that would not persist. Is my ruling on that.
we can case by case it. It's fine.
But yeah, feel free to keep asking.
Have you guys seen or played the original Far Cry where they had those suits with like the nanobots in them?
No, I know so
No,
little about
I
Far
started
Cry
in
1 and
Far
2.
Cry 2, 3, I guess. Yeah, right. That's the
Yeah,
one
it
we
was
played.
a very
on
different
360.
Three is three.
Oh, really?
3 is where
Yeah.
it switches. It's like Fallout, where 1 and 2 are like super different than 3.
Mm.
3 is a unique experience to the others. Really good though. I mean, I like the Far Cry games.
Anyway,
Yeah, no, I never played the first two. Maybe I need to go back and do so.
yeah, at the time it was amazing.
Is it like Crisis, where they had those?
Okay,
nanosuit armors?
all right. It was Crisis. It wasn't Far Cry. Gosh.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I know Crisis then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
Crisis.
Crisis.
Yeah,
Those
no,
suits
he's
were
got the
nuts.
suit for sure. I was
They
surprised.
were
I
almost
was
like a little
Far Cry
weird because they looked like naked because it was just very like muscular.
Yeah,
looking.
the like carbon fiber is like a very muscly type of skin tone thing. Not skin tone, skin type.
Yeah, those games were nuts.
Yeah.
Couldn't run on any machine.
Hmm.
That was the classic joke, is that they were so
Can it
incredibly
run
resource heavy.
Crisis?
Yeah. I think my current computer would still have a hard time on max quality settings.
I need to try it just to see if I can run it these days.
Yeah.
But
You just do like DLSS.
the animations
ultra
of the-
performance.
the suit releasing nanobots into the user was pretty cool, and it's just kind of
I'm gonna have to look up that animation because
yeah.
I definitely did play Crisis ages ago a little bit, but I do not remember that much about it. Yeah, so he can lead you out, or if you have more questions about stuff, he might be able to help you.
How will people treat us for sort of generally what? Maybe not me. I could probably hide my ears in like a stylish beanie if you guys do beanies here. But the other two, I'm not certain a beanie would sort of cover up the cowman nature of my dear friend here.
Yes,
I'm not a deer.
it wouldn't. It's not as bad as it would seem. Extreme body modification is kind of in vogue these days.
I'm
So-
always
We
in
just look like a
style.
bunch of punks.
Yeah, you'd kind of be treated like a bunch of like heavily tatted up people, but not like absolute freaks of nature who could not exist. So, I mean, you'll probably get a side eye or two, but not. You won't be
Maybe don't try
bothered.
to walk into a bank and get a loan, but like we'll be fine walking around asking weird questions.
Yeah, and you know, if you stay on the bad part of town, just no one will look at you.
Stay in the cool places,
Just don't go in the
people hang out.
Hamptons. Like,
But he just said he wanted us to run around and cause him muck, though, basically.
We can do that in our armor. It sort of has the partial credit of covering up who we are as well, as long as we don't transform in front of anyone.
Okay.
like a
Note to
secret
self,
identity.
Don't blow anybody up.
And
in
what's
front
that?
of Other people.
I've never heard of that concept before in my life.
That's right. There are no superheroes in wherever you're from.
There is no Queen of England.
I do not feel like Nightcrawler.
It's like people say, make the mistake of in fantasy saying like Jesus Christ or something. It's like, no, please say ill matter. That's the only.
By ill matter's grace.
Brennan did that one time. Did you see? Did you ever see any from that?
I don't think I remember that one in particular.
He played a cleric of ill matter where he just was using all the modern religious swears and stuff, but just about ill matter.
That's really funny.
He's
Just
a very
like a
Jesus.
complete
He's a very
Christian
Jesus
stand-in.
god in
Yeah,
D&D.
that's funny. Suffering youngs. Yeah, I think we're good then. I think we'd love to sort of see the world that you've got on offer here.
Yes. Well, feel free. I mean, we'd prefer not. We are a medical facility trying to help people, so we would prefer if trouble didn't follow you back. But feel free to use this as a hub. Come back if you need to. If you decide that you're going to give up looking for a way home, we can start trying to integrate you into our society. It will mean working for Helios, but it would at least be something. But otherwise, I encourage you to see what you can of our world and decide for yourself what you might want to do.
Wonderful.
We'll be discreet. I have this giant sword formed in the background.
Yeah. Discretion.
Yes, we'll try not to bring anything down on your heads. Perhaps we'll keep our transformed forms to a minimum for right now until we sort of figure out more about the world, and then we can make sure we untransform before we come back here.
Perfect. That's all right.
I'm going to need a cloak.
We will range in our power.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
let's
think
try to find
he'll
a
be able
clothing
to
store.
kind of pass you, some information of maybe a shopping district where you could get clothes. He's able to. We'll say he transfers you some of his personal money. Actually, no, I would say your money probably transfers over. You're rich in this world's money. Because you still have. We have some
why does
handout
my-
that has your money on it.
It's
Why does it say
crypto.
my bank balance is 9999? Is this some sort of overstack error?
Let's see.
I only had like 5,500 gold.
No, that's right. You do. Good job.
Humble brag.
It's probably more than that because y'all did another loop since then, I think.
I think we did, yeah.
I'll sort that out.
So yeah, we have enough to like buy a house in our
Yeah.
bank accounts, right?
So you'll certainly be able to pick up clothes or provisions.
All right, I want
If there's modern stuff that you want, that
a cloak made of LEDs.
Going full cyberpunk.
Yeah. Ugh, that'll be sweet.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think Karos, while they're like shopping in maybe the worst part of town, to like get some things to sell their identity, he gets a cool earring, like put in just as like a this is me being cool and edgy.
Spontaneous.
Got big ears.
Well, we
Gotta
can.
show 'em off.
1 second.
Get Alibaba a turban.
Do I have? Yeah, I got to get a turban. Do I have horns on my horns now? Is that...
So I think you just have horns, but when you're in your
Okay.
suit, my thought was that they kind of overlaid and exaggerated them, and you can have more horns
Like,
if you want. You can have as many horns as you like in your suit, or outside. It's your character.
Like a
I assume 2, but that's on me.
Hellboy. Hellboy when he goes Super Saiyan has
That's
like
right,
he
he always
normally has
grows
his
out his
nubs and he
horns.
gets super big horns. I was like his kind of
You
horns.
guys are hiding your horns, Amuba says.
I don't have horns. I don't own them. I don't possess any.
Just pointy ears. Well, yeah, if you guys want to go searching for shops, we can go searching for
Oh,
shops
cool.
Shops.
in our beautiful cyberpunk city.
I like it.
But guys, I might have to do
Cool.
it next time. I'm honestly
Yeah.
running out of juice.
Oh yeah, we're good, man.
I think
I
it's
don't
a
know if
great
you're fine
place
calling
to
it a
stop.
little bit early, but I am a little dunzo. But this
I
was
do
fun.
love
I appreciate
cyberpunk
you guys.
Yeah, Karos definitely gets the cyberpunk guy jacket. Like I think he
Yeah.
immediately finds like there's a shop that just has like a row of like 12 of them in like different sizes, and he
Yeah,
just picks
and
up
guys,
one.
if you want like to find and get new art for your guys in suit, out of suit, like if you want to do that just for funsies, feel free.
Solid.
I like doing that for characters if you want to have like a fun new appearance. But yeah, I appreciate you all flexing your creative muscles. Sorry if I dropped that on you spontaneously, but you'll have plenty of time to
That's
think
fun.
about everything you want. And also, if you didn't solidify your level ups, go ahead and do that. And
You get so
yeah,
few
next session we'll
choices.
kind of dig into the city, and you'll see kind of the more what it's going to be like around here. Hopefully, we can have some fun. But yeah, my intent just for y'all's future is that this is both the combat and traversal and stuff. I'm hoping to incorporate verticality into it more, and all your
fun, 'cause
abilities,
we
I
can
believe,
all-
facilitate that. So we'll
Yeah.
see how that goes. See if that falls apart or if it persists. But yeah, it should be pretty
Fun.
fun, guys. I like a little cyberpunk, and I'm excited that we're going to get to play some.
Like the setting. It's fun.
Very cool. Well, thank you, PS Zombie. That was great. We're getting some. That's right. Climb it with the air horn. Absolutely. Very hype here. Very exciting. We're in the cyberpunky world of the Unbeaten Path. So this is we got some cool power-ups. We got some cool redesigns. So be looking out for that for future Unbeaten Path. Thank you, PS Zombie, for taking us down that journey. Loving this direction. We'll see how it fleshes out. Next week, just continue to tune in to PU2 ASU. We're going to try to run more of these sessions, D&D, pinging between 2 campaigns, or even, heck, I don't know, going out and doing some extra stuff too. Lately with Piece of 8, we've been doing some one-shots off of the story, little background stories. So we might continue to do that. We might go on the main campaign. You'll just have to tune in next week and find out, because we like surprises here on the PU2 ASU channel. All right, well, this has been PU2 ASU and Crew. Thank you for joining us for a session of the Unbeaten Path, session 49. Looking forward to next week, and thank you all for joining us. Everyone have a good night. Goodbye.
Good
Good
night.